Welcome and good evening. Hi, I'm Bob Pace, and I'm glad you joined me for this live podcast of how to fight CPS and stop taking our children. It's Thursday evening. Um, I'm on broadcast on the West Coast live, and I really strongly welcome you all. Who I am? Well, I'm a loving father of 6 children, married 31 years, and I too have been involved in the child protection system. They trafficked my children. They stole my children. They did harm to my children while they were in their care. And they alienated my children, which is wrong. Everything you're going through, I've experienced. And so hopefully I can relate some things that help you with your case. I'm not an attorney, but I really want to help you. There's lots of things I've gained in experience of doing with them for the last 15 years. Um, um, Let me tell you how they interact with this podcast, okay? That way you get the most out of it. I'm not ready to take phone calls at the moment, but I want to go over how they interact with the podcast. One way is just by being in this room. It's I'm really, really glad that you've found this podcast. I know it's kind of hard. Um, wow. I'm trying to get it so that my backdrop it takes up the whole screen. If you're listening, Grace, maybe you could help me. Okay, a second way to interact with this podcast is to type in comments. Now, when you're typing in comments, boy, this is. There we go. But then I lost the phone number. Jeez. Oh, boy. I need Vincent's phone number back up there. Thank you. So when you text up the comments, oh, this is hard. Make sure it pertains to a CPS question. The reason why I say CPS is that we don't have enough time to talk about all the other topics out there. I know there's tons of them, but it should pertain to the child protection system questions. You want to show your name, city, state, or country and be complete with your CPS case. Now, when I said country, you probably think that's unusual, but there are a lot of countries that have contacted me and they've discussed what their CPS issues are in their country. So far, I've had Bangladesh, the country of Bangladesh. I've had New Delhi, India, that's text in. I've had Africa. I've had South Africa in the south, one of the provinces text in. Then I've had Mozambique, which is opposite Madagascar in south of Salmia and north of South Africa. Then I have Rwanda, which is near Lake Victoria, the central east part of Africa. And they had a terrible time in '94 where they ended up okay. Hmm. Now, on the north part of Africa, it was Liberia, which is on the north part of Africa on the coast on the west side. Then we moved up to Europe, and we had United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, Denmark, and Sweden. And across the pond, we've had North America, we have Canada, and all the 50 U.S. states and Washington, D.C. have all, well, a lot of them have called in and texted, and I've heard from everybody there. And then south of the border, Mexico, and then further south in South America of Guyana, which is east of Venezuela, north of Brazil, and has a coastal town of Georgetown. Then we go across the pond and we go to Australia. So those are countries that have, texted information of they're having their problems. So please show your name, city, or country. And what I mean by be complete with your CPS case is so I don't have to play ping pong with you. Try the first part, describe how your family arrangement is. Are you husband, wife? Are you girlfriend, boyfriend? Are you lovers? Are you partnership? And, are there, how many children, how many boys, how many girls? Are all the children with both parents, or both parents involved, or it's a single parent and the other parent isn't involved? And then how they were taken with neglect, abuse, or both, and some information about that. Also, did you give up the children? Did they come to your house and took them, or you bring them down to the social service office and hand them over to them? How did you get your children taken? And then last, where you at on your case? So if you tell me all that, that really helps. So when you either text a message or you call in, be complete with your CPS case. Now, the third way to interact with this podcast is to be our guest. And to be our guest, all you have to do is contact our producer, show producer. Her name is Grace. She works behind the scenes. She's really helpful. And I really appreciate her hard work, and she keeps me in line and so forth. Now, if you send her an email, make sure you pick one of my 14 shows. I'm on Monday through Sunday, morning or afternoon, either at 10 o'clock in the morning, every day except Sunday, I'm on at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then every night at 7 p.m., I'm on for 1 hour. Those are all Pacific Standard Times. So you would send her an email with the dates you picked, and her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. And She will give you the link. I'm broadcasting on YouTube and I'm using the StreamYard application. So she'll give you the link to StreamYard so you can be with me. And then you'll talk just like I'm talking, and we can help out each other and help out the people in the room. So remember, just email Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Grace at vincentdavis.com. Welcome, Jake Thomas. Where part of the world are you from, Jake? If you have your city or state or country, it'd be appreciated. So that's the third way to interact. Now, the fourth way is my phone number. Now, my phone number is 626-698-0990. And you can reach me that right now. I use Vonage on my phone, and that's my office number. And I'll answer the calls during my show hours. So if you call me on those show hours, I'll answer the call. And if you call with outside the hours, I'll give you a message. Is what I do here. Okay, Jake says, if you are a child and run away due to abuse and speak to the police and CPS, they'll make you go back, even though the CPS deemed the home unsafe. Las Vegas. Well, Jake, I don't know if you're that child or not, but anytime you deal with CPS or police, it'll get worse for you. I don't know why you have to run away from home. If it's bad, can you see a family or relative? Jake, are you that child that, and now you say that the CPS deemed the home unsafe. So CPS has already been involved. Now, as a runaway child, they'll put you in foster care. And you don't want to be in foster care. You want to be with a family member. You want to be with a family member. Good. You says you're with family. All right, Jake. That's good. I'm sorry that your home is unsafe. What were your parents accused of? What were they accused of? Now, to get an idea what social workers are like, they're not very friendly. They really don't want to do family reunification. They don't like parents. They don't like seniors. They don't like elders. And they'll keep you in the dark. They're not transparent. They'll cheat, lie, they retaliate. They're the worst things. It's the worst agency I've come across in the U.S. government. Far more worse than the IRS. And the reason why is that the majority of them are not trained. The majority of them are not, they don't require a license. You know, if you have a license and you have to renew it every 5 years, then you're going to keep on touch with the latest things. Okay, beating me and having proof from many occasions. Who's beating you? I thought you were with a family. I am trying to help you, but you need to more explain your case so I can understand it. Are you the child that has a mother and father that kept the house unsafe and so it's neglect? What have your mother and father been charged with? Is your father still involved or your mother still involved? Because I didn't ask all the. Yes, I'm with mother. Okay, you're with your mother, Jake. Well, can you tell me more, Jake? What happened? What did your dad do that was so bad? I want to help you, Jake. Don't feel bad. You know, dealing with CPS is a nightmare and it's half. They're not your friend. For instance, if you're adopted into foster care, I was with my mom and her step-husband was beating me. Okay, all right, good. Now I know. I'm with my dad's side. So you have a stepdad and you have a real dad. Is your real dad involved with you? I mean, Are you staying with your real dad? We can work this out, Jake. I can get this straightened out for you. Right now in this room, for all you new listeners, we have Jake Thomas from Las Vegas, Nevada. He is a child, and his stepdad has been hurting him. And I guess he's still with his real dad. Um, so right now, I guess the family's broken apart. I guess your mom has remarried or got a new man in her life and got rid of your dad. I guess that's what the thing is. Oh, you're a girl. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I apologize. Um, okay, because I didn't ask all that. Who seems like no help? You may have proof from many occasions. I don't know why I thought you said you're a child. You run away due to abuse and speak to the police and CPS when you need back, even though the home was unsafe. Okay. Now, why did your stepdad beat you? Why did your stepdad beat you? Okay. Yes, you could be sent back to your mother. Why was your dad and your mother? Okay, is your dad mother divorced? Is that what happened? Well, I'm glad you ran away to your father because I'm glad you still have somebody that loves you can still go to. Wow. I'm just worried they're going to try to put you in foster care. That's what I'm worried about. And you can get more damage in foster care. Foster care is not the place you want to be with. You want to be with your dad or your mother, but it sounds like right now you can't be with your mother because she's remarried and she has her husband's treating you bad. So you want to be with your dad. Does your dad have a nice place and can take care of you? You could be with your dad, and then you can have visitations with your mom without your stepdad being around. That could be arranged. That could be arranged. John, question. Okay, right now, for all the people listening, we have Jake Thomas, who is actually a girl. That's why I thought it was a boy because Jake sounds like a boy's name. But well, the courts work really strange. If you're a minor, if you're under the age of 18, and since you're in Nevada, um, the child protection system will get involved. The problem is sometimes they don't do it right. And so it's not safe being with your mother because of the guy she's married. But you feel safe with your dad, and you can ask that. You can say in the safety plan, "I want to be with my dad. I can't be with mother because her guy that she married beats me." So that's a good reason, and you should be able to do that. Just be strong about that. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them try to do other things to you, Jake. You know, talk to your real father. He will help you. He will help you. And I'm glad you have a father to lean on. Because I hate to say it, the social workers and the child protection services aren't interested in money. and they as soon have you go into foster care with the foster parents and be adopted because they make more money that way. So you just can't really trust that. So you should insist that you can't stay at your mother's place because of the guy she married is hurting you and you want to stay with your dad. And then you can have visitations with your mother. You can have visitations with your mother. But I want you protected. I don't want you hurt anymore by your stepdad. I want you to be protected. Okay, you went to get emergency. Who has custody? Is it your dad has custody? Does your dad have custody? They have joint custody. Well, usually in divorce, that's what they do. They try to do it split with joint custody. The only problem is when you're with your dad and then you're with your mom, is your stepdad around? Your stepdad should be taken out of the picture. He needs to go while you're with your mom. He needs to go while you're with your mom. Your real dad and your mom were never married. Okay. But they still can make the custody arrangement that you spend so much time with your dad and so much time with your mom. Oh, welcome, Faye. Faye's from Richmond, Kentucky. She's a single mother. She has a son who's 23 that she's trying to get custody of because he's a special needs kid and he needs the help. She lost her daughter early on, and the CPS and the police are very corrupt. Now, Faye, we have Jake Thompson. I know that sounds like a guy's name, but it's a young girl who is texted in from Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. Her problem is that her mom has remarried or got a new boyfriend or whatever the situation is, but he's like a stepfather to her, and he is hurting her. Her real dad she wants to be with, but they were never married, her and her mom, and so her real dad, uh, has joint custody with her mother, but unless the stepfather's out of the picture, she's not going to be very happy there. So she's asking some questions what to do, Faye. So if you got any ideas, that'd be great. That'd be great. So what are the custody arrangements, Jake? What are the custody arrangements? He's beating her up. Faye, he's beating her up. He's doing physical harm to Jake. Jake is a girl. All she said is that her step-husband was beating me. She had run away to her father. And she has scars to show that how her stepdad hurt her. They went to family court to get emergency custody agreement. And that was yesterday. And they have joint custody. But her real dad and real mom were never married. Well, she says that she has documentation showed the cops the scars, CPS the scars. She's worried that they may send her back to her mother or go into foster care. She doesn't want to be in foster care. She doesn't want to be in foster care. She's okay with her real dad, but she's not okay with her stepdad. I don't think she has any recordings of her being beaten up. All she has is the scars from where she was hurt. She says she has proof on many occasions of the beatings that she received from her stepdad. Well, she has documentation. What do you have, Jake? If you're still there, can you tell me what documentation you have, what proof you have that your stepdad did? Yeah, but that's pretty hard for a child to record, stepdad. She doesn't want to go through it. I don't think she wants to go through it again. I wouldn't want to go through it. She says that she has documentation. She has the scars. All right, scars prove nothing. Okay. Okay, so scars not proof. But I don't think she wants to engage with their stepfather to get beaten again, just to get a recording. For all you're listening right now, we're trying to help a young girl, Jake, who's from Las Vegas, Nevada, who has a custody battle with her mom and her father. Her mom and father were never married, but she has her mother's remarried and has a father that's a stepfather beating her. Yes, Faye.
Bob, what I'm trying to say is, if it scars alone to the police and to the judge and even to social workers, don't necessarily prove anything because, people can put marks on themselves. Not saying that's what she's doing, but it's been known to be proven that people can make marks on themselves and scars.
All right.
Okay? So what I'm trying to say is if there's some way that she could get a hold of a small camera and set it up somewhere in the house where he does these things to her and only she knows it's there and it's small enough to not be seen, then she could catch him on video doing the act to her, then that would be proof enough for her to get some help.
The thing is, I don't think she wants to put her in harm's way again.
What?
Well,
who? The mom?
No, the daughter doesn't want to go the stepfather and be hurt again. She's already had enough beatings.
I mean, so what it... Okay, Bob, I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Okay, you say in order to take a camera, she has to engage with the stepfather.
She don't have to engage with the stepfather. She sets it up in the house where only she knows it's there.
I know
she
that.
Have to engage with the stepfather.
But she doesn't want to go home to that situation. She wants to stay with her dad.
Where's she at now, Bob?
She's with her biological father.
She's with her biological father?
Yes, she ran away, and then they had a custody arrangement, and it's like 50-50 right now.
Okay, so she has to go back to the stepfather's house, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't want to because she doesn't want to be hurt anymore.
Well, I mean, she don't have a choice if the judge's orders.
No, the judge
has to go back there.
The judge is not. She can sit there and say, "I don't want to be home," and then she's going to be turned into foster care. That's going to be even worse.
Okay. God, what are you doing, Dee? Jesus Christ.
Sorry, that background noise is that Faye has a big animal zoo, and so
there's just, I don't know, but anyway,
I hear what you're saying. If this was early on and she could put a camera and record it, it'd be great. But
well, I mean, no, it don't matter if it's early on or not, Bob. I mean, if she has to go back to that house, then she needs to try somehow, some way, to catch that if he's doing it. But, I mean, if she's ordered by a judge to go back because there's 50-50 custody, then she don't have a choice but to go. And the mom don't, unless the mom speaks up and, goes against the orders or whatever. I mean, that's a bad situation. I don't know.
I know it's a bad situation. It's just that
if it were me and I was her and I had to go back there, then I would have my dad buy me a camera and I would hide it somewhere in the house. And when he did the things he was doing, he would be caught on camera doing it.
Right, but she doesn't want to go there, and so she's ready to run away again.
Well, running away, though, will get her took away from her dad.
Well, yeah, from her real dad.
Yeah. Away from her dad.
Yeah, well, right now, Jake, let me see if Jake's still in the room. Jake, are you still there? Can you tell hi? Or Faye's trying to help you. She's also trying to understand your situation. All I know is that how it started, Faye, this is unusual, but I normally don't have children. I've had some children on the show. So we have a young child who had a boy's name, but it's actually it's not a girl's name, but maybe she used Jake as her dad or something. And she's using his account or something like that. But anyway.
Running away can get her labeled as a status offender, and get her put in, the system and all that, and she don't want that. So how I would handle it if I were her is, even if I had to go back to that house again, I would go back to that house with a means of being able to prove what was happening to me there instead of me just saying it and showing bruises or marks or whatever, because that's not enough proof. They need something more.
Hold on a second, Faye.
The best next thing would be catching him on video. Like, even if it was just an extra phone and she could record it on a phone.
Right.
Or whatever.
Hold on a second, Faye. I have Christina who just dropped in the room. This Christina Reynoso, Reynosa is from New Mexico, and she's wondering who. What it is, Christina, at the beginning of my show, I had a young child uses a man's name on here. It's Jake Thomas from Las Vegas, Nevada. She had a horrible situation where in the beginning she had a beating. Her stepdad was beating her really bad. And what happens that they had a CPS case, the home deemed to be unsafe. I guess that's where the mother was. But what happened is the mother never was married to the man, but she got another boyfriend who was stepdad to this child, and his stepchild is a girl, and this stepdad is beating her up really bad. So she doesn't want to be beaten up anymore. And so they went to court yesterday. They had emergency court appearance for custodial rights, and I think it's a 50-50 rights, 50% time with the mother, the biological mother, 50 times with the biological dad. But what she says, there's a way that we could get the stepdad to vacate when the stepmom has visitations with her daughter.
Restraining order.
Yeah, she could get a restraining order. Yeah, what you can do, that's a good idea. Jake, if you're still listening out there, you get a restraining order against your stepdad, and that means he has to stay away. You get a restraining order. They're not going to get abused. Faye was just saying that send her back home so on camera they can record her being abused. I think all she needs to do is get a restraining order. Yes, CPS.
Well, I didn't say send her back home. I didn't say send her back home. I said if she had to go back there.
Well, yeah, the way the custody is right now, 50% with the mom, 50% with the dad. The problem is she doesn't like that arrangement because it isn't safe, because her stepdad has beat her so many times, she doesn't want any more beatings.
Right.
So I'm saying she gets a restraining order against the stepdad, then that should solve the problem, because she'll come home to her real mom and be with her and her mom, and then she'll see her dad, and that should work it. That should work it there. Yes, CPS has been involved. They supposedly have a messy home. You want to give her a phone number. Okay, Christina, what's the phone number for her to do? What's the phone number? It started off where she ran away and stayed with her real dad. Then they had emergency court order, and they said it'll be 50-50, 50 with the dad, 50 with the mom. But she doesn't like that because she's been abused enough. She doesn't need any more abuse, even though it would help her with her case of getting recorded again. Now, Christina says the DA guy is supervising CPS. There's a messy home. I don't know if the DA, the district attorney, is involved at this all. All I've heard is CPS and the police have been involved. Yes, it was a home that was a messy home. And again, I assume it's the mother's home with the stepdad. I don't think it's the father's home. Apparently, the father and mother were never married. They've been separated. She has found a guy and married the guy. And that's where the problem is that her daughter doesn't feel comfortable with the guy she's married because, he is beating her up. So how is the district attorney involved? District attorneys do not supervise CPS. District attorneys are for criminal matters. The child protection system deals with protecting the children from neglect and abuse. Okay, the number I gave her is the guy with the district attorney. Okay, well, this number she can talk to. I don't know, Jake, if you're still there. Can you hear me, Jake Thomas? Jake Thomas from Las Vegas, Nevada. Are you still there? She may have dropped out. I don't know. Faye, what do you think, Faye?
I don't know. Possibly.
Okay. All right.
She might have had to hang up or something for some reason.
All right. Well, Jake, I'm so sorry you're going through all this. Christina is trying to help you. She has a phone number of a guy with the district attorney. I don't know if they can help her or not, but I think maybe if she got a restraining order against the stepdad, that would take of him being around her. So anytime she goes to visit her mom, he has to leave. And then she can see her father 50% of the time, her mother 50% of the time. But thank you, Christina, for suggesting that. Go ahead, Faye. You were saying something?
I was. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Right now, for all you listeners in the room, we have Faye on the telephone. She's from Richmond, Kentucky, a single mom who lost her daughter, young daughter, but is trying to get custody of her special needs son, who's 23 years old. But the area that she lives in is very corrupt. The child protection system, even though they have licenses, are corrupt. The police is very, very corrupt. So she has a really uphill battle in Richmond, Kentucky. Now, Christina has been with us a long time. She's from New Mexico, but her case was in San Bernardino, California, and Nevada, Las Vegas. And
George, hold on.
She wants to help people in this room here. And then we have the young girl, Jake Thomas, who is trying to figure out what to do with her arrangements with her biological father and her biological mother. The stepfather is the one that's the problem, and I think if you get the restraining order. So I don't know if you're still there, Jake Thomas, but please say something if you're still there, or anybody else. So far right now, I have Christina and I have Faye. Faye's on the phone. Christina is in the room. Well, Faye is also in the room too, but I have Faye on the phone. Does anyone else have any questions or anything, what is going on or what is not going on? Now I have about 9 minutes left of my show. I have to end it sharply at 8 o'clock because there's another show that follows it. So it's really important that I end it at 8 o'clock. So I have about 9 minutes left. I guess I can talk about our rules. I know I keep saying them over and over, but I have 4 rules that can help you all in my case. Rule number 1 is to get an attorney. Now, Christina says, has she ever been in a child haven? But I have no idea. Christina, she may have left the room. She may have left. She was very frustrated with me early on. She says, I'm no help. So maybe she has some attitude problems or something. I don't know. I appreciate you and Faye trying to help her, though. That's nice of you guys to do that. So, rule number 1 I have is you need to get an attorney. I know you may think the court appointed attorney is the man because of there's no cost, but keep in mind, using a court appointed attorney, they won't fight for you. Their caseload is 30 or more people, and they're just going to settle it for whatever it's worth. They're not paid very much, and they're certainly not knowledgeable about the child protection system or how they operate or where it is there. Christina, what is child heaven? Or Faye, do you know what child heaven is? Faye? Oh boy, lost Faye here. What is child heaven?
It's like a group home.
Thank you.
It's like a group home, I think, or at least that's what it is in my state.
Okay, I never heard of that said before, child heaven. My kids were in group homes, but they weren't called child havens. Boys
Yeah, well,
Town.
they have all kinds of different names.
Yeah, Boys Town
My
ran.
son was in one called There's Boys Town, Child
Right.
Haven.
Right.
There's a St. Agatha Home for Girls. There's Home of the Innocent.
Christina, you're right. I did say that the girl was from Vegas. Yes, Vegas, Nevada. She's from Vegas, Nevada. Now, maybe you could find that name on Facebook and contact her. Jake Thomas. Jake Thomas. But it sounds like that's her father's name, and she got onto his account here. So, rule number 1 is right now we have an attorney that produced this podcast. His name is Vincent W. Davis. He's been practicing law or fighting CPS for 35 plus years. He's a trial attorney. He knows what he's doing. He's fought CPS and gotten children back and won cases. He's also sued CPS in civil cases and got millions of dollars, both in state and federal court. So he's a real deal, and he's offering a consultation now for 30 minutes for $60. 30 minutes for $60. That's $2 a minute. And it's well worth you to spend your time talking to him about your case and how he can represent you. You may like him enough to represent you. I had to sell my home to get the money so that he could represent me. So that was sad for me because it took me 40 years to get that home. So I had to sell my home and pay off my first and second. And now I'm without a home. I mean, I have an apartment, but it doesn't go off to pay down your taxes. So when you call into Mr. Davis, it's 888-888-6582. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you talk to Mr. Davis, make sure you say that Bob Pace sent you. And, he'll go in all the states. He goes Northern California, works out of Southern California, but he knows all the other states and he can practice there. They don't like him. He's one of the strongest attorneys for fighting CPS. Now, rule number 2 is to organize your paperwork, and you should put it all in a notebook. 8 by 11.5 size notebook, 3 rings, and then you just stuff it full of subject tabs, like 10 tabs, and organize your paperwork so you can find things. And then, punch holes and put it in. And one important area in that notebook would be incidents. What has happened to your family or your daughter or son? You want to put the incidents, and you want to put the date and time, the location, and the people involved in the incident. Then you want to do the second line and what the incident was, and the third line is the follow-up to the incident. How was it resolved? If you're still waiting pending, you got to leave it blank and come back to it later. But that would help there immensely. And then after you put down what the incident was, you put down the outcome. How was it settled? If you're still working on it, you fill it out when you can. But that way, 3 years from now, you'll know what was happening and what was going on. Faye, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
what
good.
What did you say?
Oh, I was, let me see here. I was wondering, well, this girl, I think she's dropped off. This is the first time I've had, the other day, Christina had her son on the show, and I've had other people on the show too. So anyway, I just hate to hear a child that can't.
I don't think she's still on here, Bob.
Okay, I don't think so too either.
She's not said anything or messaged or anything like that.
Now,
that I've seen.
Faye, you've written something. Also, it's smart to keep your children's school and medical health. Great, thank you for reminding me of that. Help files in that notebook, and so you know where they're at because you'll need that. Also, get original birth certificates and social security numbers, and do not give yours to anyone ever, not even DCF, the CPS system, the child protection system, because they will put out a hold on those records and they open a case on you so they can't get them. And then they'll use the records to lie on you. And if you don't have the records, you won't be able to refute their claims. If CPS gets the birth certificate on them, own it will not have you on. Good evening, Lori. You want to list William Mullins. Okay. Welcome, Lori. I always ask your city, state, or country. And if you have any comments there, but I'm glad that you come into the room here. Okay, we're now getting close. The show has to be in. It's 8 o'clock. There are other shows happening. I want to thank Grace for calling in and be on the phone. Thank you, Lori, for coming in. And thank you, Christina. And our caller in tonight before Faye, not call in, but text in, was Jake Thomas, a girl that is having severe problems with her stepdad. So God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Keep fighting for your kids. And this is Bob Pace signing off.